Gage Primar here, crushbackpain.com. Today I'm going to talk about how you can reduce lower back pain in the morning. If you wake up and your lower back feels pretty good, and within 20 or 30 minutes of being up, your lower back starts to hurt, what I'm going to show you today is really going to help decrease that morning back pain. If you wake up in the morning and before you even get out of bed your lower back hurts, then you need to look at your mattress and sleeping positions. And I'll cover that in another video here on the Crush Back Pain YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about what you can do in the morning if your back hurts after getting out of bed. Before we get into exactly what to do, we first need to talk about how your lower back works and how the discs in your lower back work. So the discs are the little cushions in between your vertebrae. And when you sleep at night, you don't have gravity and body weight pushing against those discs, so they actually take on fluid. The discs in your lumbar spine actually swell with fluid, and the fluid content becomes greater. When we first wake up in the morning, we're somewhere between a ½ inch and an inch taller than we are at the end of the day, and that's simply because of the fluid content of the discs in between our lumbar vertebrae. So with that increased fluid content comes increased pressure, and the back part of the disc, the posterior part of the disc, is innervated. So increased pressure on the back part of the disc can cause lower back pain. Now most people, after they wake up, they go sit down. They sit down to go to the bathroom, they sit down to read the newspaper, to check their email, to look at their phone, look at the internet, sit down to eat breakfast, and in a seated position, there's more pressure put through the disc and more pressure put on that back part of the disc. So when you're standing, I'm going to show you from the side here, when you're standing, your lumbar spine has what we call a lordosis. It's a natural curve. And when you sit, your spine actually flexes. When it flexes, there's more pressure, compression through the disc. So I'm going to exaggerate it here, but you can see this part of my back down here. It rounds out. That's flexion. When you stand, it's extended. So when you wake up in the morning and you have that increased fluid content in your lumbar discs, you obviously have increased pressure, and then you go and you sit down, you're increasing that pressure even further simply because of the position of your lumbar spine. It's placed in a flexed position. It puts more pressure through the back part of the disc. That can lead to microtrauma, pain, inflammation. Now, there's a really good study that was published in Lancet years back, and they looked at controlling early morning lumbar flexion. So lumbar flexion is essentially two things. Bending forward like this, which flexes your lumbar spine, and being in a seated position, which is going to flex your lumbar spine. And this study looked at controlling early morning lumbar flexion. So basically, not flexing your lumbar spine after you first wake up. So staying in a standing position. If you do have to sit, making sure you keep that natural curve in your lower back, that natural lordosis, instead of letting it round out, and just limiting the amount of time you sit. Sit down and go to the bathroom. If you're a male, stand up to go to the bathroom. But limiting that seated time and limiting the lumbar flexion in the morning has been proven. It's been proven to reduce chronic lower back pain. And even at 3-year follow-up, people that stuck with this principle, limiting early morning lumbar flexion, still had less lower back pain. And this is a big deal because this is something that is simple to do. You can incorporate it into your everyday routine. It doesn't take any extra time, and you can see some significant benefit really quickly within 1 or 2 weeks of just not sitting down or bending forward for the first hour after waking up. Now the reason that I say the first hour after waking up, within an hour of being up, most of that extra fluid content is pushed out of your disc. So then when you go to sit or you go to bend forward, you're still putting flexion through the lumbar spine, but you're not getting that increased pressure on the back part of the disc because most of the fluid's already out. So incorporate this tomorrow morning. If you have lower back pain in the morning, don't sit or bend forward for the first hour after waking up, and just make this a habit. You'll be amazed at how much better your back feels throughout the day. And not only will it reduce your morning lower back pain, but it'll make it where you don't have that nagging pain that lasts all day. Doing this will also allow that back part of the disc to heal. So over the long term, you're going to have less lower back pain. It's going to be less frequent. When you do have lower back pain, it will be less severe. I will put a link to this study in the video description so you can check it out for yourself. It's a well put together study, and like I said, this is an actual proven method to reduce chronic lower back pain, which is notoriously difficult to affect, notoriously difficult to treat, and this has been proven to reduce lower back pain consistently over the long term. So limit lumbar flexion for the first hour after waking up. All you have to remember is don't bend forward. Don't do any stretches where you're putting your spine in that flexed position for the first hour after waking up. And also just limit your sitting. Don't sit. I just have people not sit. But if you do have to sit, keep that natural curve in your lumbar spine. Don't let it round out here, be here, and limit the sitting. Just if you're going to the bathroom, make it quick, and then don't sit unless it's going to the bathroom. And first hour after waking up, no lumbar flexion, no sitting. That's it. That's simple. This will make a significant difference with your lower back pain in the morning. If you need more help building a strong, pain-free back, check out crushbackpain.com. I have some really effective programs over there that can help you along. Also, if this video helped you, if you like it, leave me a thumbs up below, leave a comment. Also, let me know what questions you have on lower back pain, what you want to know, what you need help with, and I will be sure to cover that here on the Crush Back Pain YouTube channel.